Hello, it's Nigby. You've seen this padlock before. I'm not going to pick it. It's an era padlock. It was engraved for me by Tequila Dave. It's one of the oldest padlocks that I've got. What makes it unusual is the number of times that this padlock has been picked. So what I thought I would do is I'd explain why it's been picked so often. Maybe it's a bit of OCD, but this padlock sits on my lock shelf. It's right at the front. It's a treasured item, but I have a habit of just picking it up as I walk past the padlock shelf and just picking it. And I've done that for over 2 years now. I know there was a period of time where I picked this lock 2 or 3 times a day, just out of a habit. And I still do it now, not so often, but in preparation for this video I sort of counted up how many times I've picked it this week. It's Wednesday and I've picked it every day this week. Maybe that's because I was thinking about it, I don't know. So by my calculation, it's been picked every day, twice a day for over a year. So that's 365 times 2 plus some more. This lock has been picked over 1,000 times. Hardly ever use the key. I've had to go hunting for the key in my big box of keys. So I'm pleased to see that the key still works. But what I've noticed is that the feedback on the lock is slightly changing, so I thought it might be interesting just to have a look at the insides of a lock that has been picked over 1,000 times. So anyway, that's the introduction. I'm not going to waste your time by watching me gut it. I'm going to cut this video now, take it apart, and let's have a look at the pins. Just while it's in here though, testament to my delicate touch. So you can see, as I say, the keyway is still in pretty good condition. Tend to use a 1.2mm pry bar in it, which is there, and so it's not a perfect fit, so you would expect to see a little bit of chewing up from that, but I've obviously been delicate enough not to do that. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to stop this video now, take this apart, and let's have a look at the pins. Just started the camera up again at this point, so just out of interest, one thing I thought looked a bit strange at this point is just how much play there is in these pins. Got other locks that the pins almost slide in slowly because they seem to be sealing the air. There's obviously big gaps either side of these now, so something's a bit worn. Okay, stop this again and come back once I've stripped it a bit more. I'm finding this quite interesting, in all fairness. So there's the core without the pins in, with the counter milling that is associated with these locks. Not a lot to see on there. Let's see if we can get a shot inside in any way whatsoever. Not a lot to see there. Let's have a look at the Bible. Inside there, those holes all look still pretty round to me. So there you go, that's the core. So I'm going to put in some photos that I've taken of close-ups of the pins. Let's give you a bit of a zoom. They are remarkably untouched. I think the most wear that seems visible to me is on this pin 2 of the driver pins, and having said that, it doesn't really come across in the close-up photos, as you'll see, but to me this edge just looks slightly less sharp than this edge of the barrel pin, and that's the way it goes into the lock, that way around. So the key pins all look in remarkably good shape. Probably see it better on the still photo, and the spools are still all quite sharp. The one thing that I noticed when I came to take the pins out, the springs seem very compressed. Everything was sitting sort of very, when I came to take the pins out of the Bible, nothing shot out. So I think that the springs are definitely compressed from being picked, which makes a sort of sense, because sometimes you're going to be lifting those and compressing those springs way more than just the key. But there you go. That's a lock that's been picked over 1,000 times, and the wear associated with it. So nowhere near as extreme as I thought it was going to be. So maybe a far less interesting video than it should be. Anyway, maybe you found it interesting. It was certainly a look for me anyway. So I'm going to put this back together now and pick it again.